Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham United post-match football show on the internet. We've just come back from the London Stadium. No, we haven't. We've just come back from the Etihad Stadium.
We haven't come back from there either.
No, it was virtually. It was Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. Graham, let me get you from behind that little banner
The
there.
West Ham badge with eyebrows.
Take us through the starting lineup, please, my friend.
Obviously, Randolph from goal because of an injury to Fabianski in training. Cresswell, Diop and Dawson as a back three. Johnson and Kufau as wing backs. Rice, Souček. Fornals, Lingard and Antonio up front on his own.
Right decision?
Huh?
Right decision?
Yeah, I could see. I said to Scott, I could see it at the start what we were trying to do. We were trying to go narrow and sort of make them play out wide, and it worked. When you watch the game, they very little went through the middle.
Mm.
See, I like Ben Rama starting usually, but like you said, even though I usually push for, I think he's a starter, Ben Rama. I think in this decision, I can see why he went the way he went, and I thought Fornals was brilliant today. So, and I just think with that, you need that extra. You need to have that extra, even though Ben Rama does have the work rate. Fornals is a little bit more defensively robust than Ben Rama, so I think he gives you that. So yeah, I thought he got the lineup right. To be fair, it's just unfortunate we lost Fabianski. Just before the game, that was the big kick in the bollocks, wasn't it?
Yeah. What's happened? What happened to him?
Apparently, it was an elbow injury in training. Yeah. Apparently,
he
can't extend his arm or something.
Yeah, we'll probably cover it later on. But it looks like Randolph could be out now as well. He didn't look very comfortable during the game.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he'd just come back. Moyes was saying he'd just come back from a thigh injury the week before, so he'd just been injured, and then he goes into the game and kicks the ball, and then re-hurts his thigh. So we maybe have Martin in goal for Leeds. So really unlucky. I think if we have Fabianski in that game, or even 100% Randolph, we get something.
We've got to welcome our guest. Obviously, Ryan's going to be missing for the next couple of weeks as he's just moved house. Welcome, Dom.
Hello.
Shave that beard off. Jesus Christ.
Smarten yourself up, man.
Do you want to borrow some? Get some of your hair back. Is that it?
Oh.
I don't know, Dom. Go like that. I can't.
No. You're right, bro.
No, it's. Do you remember that when Dom had that beard before, and everyone was? I can't remember. Everyone was bloody calling him when he at the stadium.
Wait, hold on a minute, Dom. Lift your camera up a little bit, mate, because your hair's not too clever itself. I've seen.
That's conveniently cropped, that camera, isn't it? Very convenient.
You know what? I bought this MacBook. It came in the post the other day, and it's so much smaller than I thought it would be. I'm trying to get the right, perfect camera angle, but now this will do for now. Don't worry.
Listen, that was a bit. I think that was a bit of a tough result to take. I was expecting nothing from today. Don't get me wrong. I was expecting nothing from the game today. It was, in my eyes, it's a free hit. They're the best team in the country, probably the best team in Europe, to be fair, at the moment. But we went toe-to-toe with them. And I can't remember the last time we've been able to go toe-to-toe with a team like that, because I've been a West Ham member a long time, but over the last sort of like London Stadium days at least, I've been at some real stinkers against them, like when we couldn't even get near the ball. And it's not like they're not impressive. They're an impressive side. But we went toe-to-toe with them, and I think we've done ourselves proud, to be honest. Go on, Dom, you have a say,
we went there and hung on. We didn't go there and just hang on for it. We actually took the game to them. And I think, particularly towards the end of the first half, like last 10, 15 minutes, it was, I'll say it was mostly us.
It's disappointing we've lost that. I mean, to be honest with you, coming into the game, I think there was a lot more of a relaxed sort of atmosphere. because we weren't expected to get anything from the game. All in all, I think they deserve to win, but we gave such a good account of ourselves. It's reason for optimism ahead of the next games. I honestly think if we play like that in every game for the rest of the season, we'll 100% get Europe, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. Yeah, we're nailed on for one of them places. I thought we were excellent today. I thought, at the end we could have got an equaliser, that Diop chance on another day it could go in, but I thought considering the past meetings, we really, really gave it a good go today. And a lot of people disappointed that we've lost that. So, it shows how well we've progressed, really.
Yeah, that's the only thing. There's a few chances, wasn't there? There was the Antonio chance as well. I think there was another Souček earlier on. That's just that disappointing thing, because you get some really good opportunities and we just fluffed them and that. But, that was the only thing, and it gets frustrated because you think, if only. It's one of those.
Do you know what? I think a lot of the time today, Tufal was he was sort of pulling off the shoulder a bit out on the right wing, wasn't he? But
Did you say Tufal? Did you say Tufal?
Kufal.
You got
it. 5 mil.
Yeah, but I'll say he was getting he was sort of pulling off the shoulder a lot out wide, but we just couldn't get the ball out there often enough. Like sometimes it was a case of City got back, or we were trying to get the ball out quickly, but it was intercepted. So we were trying to play the right passes.
I don't think they deserve to win overall. I don't remember them, apart from the 2 goals, that I think if Fabianski would have been there, especially for the first and actually for the both of them, actually. I think Fabianski may get an hand to that. I think he's just got better reactions, because both of them goals were, they was hit hard, and they was awkward ones, and I don't blame Randolph at all.
He was unlucky with the first one. He got hands to it.
Yeah, but I don't know. They just seem to go straight through him. He's got that in his locker, Randolph, unfortunately. And as I said, I'm not blaming him at all. But I think that possibly. If Fabianski gets a hand to one of them and tips it over.
I agree. The thing is, as well, apart from those 2 moments, I don't really remember him having to make a save.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So it's not like they put our goal under immense pressure. I thought that Randolph would be facing a lot of shots today. That was my worry going into it. But he didn't really, there's a few that went wide, but they didn't really test us a lot. They have them 2 that go straight at him, and it's unfortunate.
Well, the thing is, the way we set up, like I said earlier, we stayed narrow to force them out wide, because we've got a tall side, so we know we can deal with balls into the box. So I think that was the plan today, to not let them have anything sort of through the middle or in front of the goal.
We defended
and it worked. Well, I thought it worked perfectly. They didn't really get any shots off. Other than crosses into the box, I thought our game plan worked perfectly today.
You can't really complain about the first goal. The first goal, that's a world-class ball into the box. That's.
I don't know, Nick. There's been so many crosses like that we've faced this season, and every time Fabianski's come for him.
Yeah.
Because Randolph, you see, I think he looked like he was about to come out, and then he just stopped. I just don't think he was very much committed to it. I thought we defended well today. I mean, you say City didn't really, Randolph didn't have much to do. I do think we defended superbly, to be fair. We restricted them as much as we could. I thought, to be honest with you, the goals we conceded, ironically, weren't great from our side defensively, which is frustrating considering all the hard work we've done. Yet, when it really mattered, I thought we just weren't there. But I hope Fabianski's not out for long. Because honestly, I like Randolph. I think he's a good backup goalkeeper, but there's a reason he's backup. I don't think he's Premier League quality anymore at all.
Yeah, I think he's a Premier League second choice quality, but not. If we're aiming to be a top half, consistent top half side, he's not the sort of keeper we want as first choice. It looked like Martin was coming on, and I felt disappointed because he was finally going to get his game, but he didn't get his chance. But it's
an international level. He's an international keeper.
Oh yeah.
But Ireland ain't exactly like top international, are
international's international. You represent your country.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gray, I think, to say there's not too many keepers competing with him. Like, not to say he's a shit keeper.
I reckon that
Liverpool
keeper will compete with him soon. That Kelleher, he's Irish. I reckon he'll break in soon. Yeah, he's quite good.
Yeah, and he's a respectable backup, I think, Randolph, but I don't think he can't replace Fabianski. It's big shoes to fill, and that's what I said earlier. Fabianski's a level above. But yeah, do you know what? You were talking about the height, Gray, and that sort of makes me think of another thing that sort of pointed me a little bit was our attacking of set pieces. They seem to beat us to a lot of the headers when we was attacking those our set pieces, and I thought that's usually our real strongest area is those set pieces. I mean, and they defended them really well, and I thought we could have done a little bit better to try and get on the end of something and test them a bit more with those set pieces. I thought that was the one area that really was, I think, a bit.
A couple of times they were overhit. A couple of them. So,
yeah. But the thing is, when that first goal goes in, I was a bit deflated because you just think like, oh, fuck, it's going to be hard now, isn't it? Like to try and come back into it. But the players, they didn't let their edge drop, and that's what how many times have we seen that? One goal goes in against Man City and then they just flood in.
There's a couple of things that West Ham have done very well this season is that even the ones that we've lost big, I probably could take the Liverpool one out because I thought that was quite poor the way we performed that day. We just give them a little bit too much respect, a little bit too much room, and I didn't like the way we performed that day. But when you think back to like the Chelsea results where we lost 3-0, we weren't at that game. We was never at that game. I thought we were well unlucky not to get a point.
We battered them in the first
scored 2 goals in the last sort of 5 minutes. I know, I think that scoreline flattered them, but that's what West Ham have done very well this season. They don't have to, we don't have to. What's the word? We don't let our heads drop when we don't. There's another word for it, but I can't think of what it is. We don't let our heads drop when we just carry on going. They've got capitulate. That's the word, Dom. We've always got faith in what the manager's doing, which is good, and the manager's demanding a lot of respect, and I think rightly so, and he's shoved it all down our faces, but. Listen, on that performance today, even though we lost the game, we are still, still in this race. We can still class ourselves in this race for European football. And I honestly think, and this is good. This might come back and bite me in the bum. And if it don't happen, it don't happen. It's not, it's not the end of the world. But I honestly think we can do it. Yeah, I think we can get into that top 4. If we keep on performing like this, we can get there. I think it's only injuries now that can stop us.
We're leading the race before.
It's going to trip us up.
That you can't just say that we could be in it. We're leading the race for 4th position because we're in 4th position. So it's the other teams that need to try and make up ground on us. And even if Chelsea, win, if we keep performing like that, like you said, we're going to pick up more points, and they've got to try and keep pace with us. So it's we're leading the race, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing. It's
there's two games that will really. Define our season, and that's the Manchester United game and the Chelsea game. I think them two are, and then we've got Everton, haven't we? At some point,
got Leicester as well.
Leicester,
and Arsenal,
and Arsenal.
Yeah. But I'll be honest. I think them Man United games, Leicester games, and the Chelsea games are going to define where we're going to finish. If we can somehow get points out of them. If we can get 6 points out of them 3 games, which is madness when you think about talking like that. It's just that I'm a West Ham fan. I keep on expecting it it to stop. And even though we've lost today, I don't feel like it's stopped. We've give a good performance. I can imagine the boys getting in the dressing room. Don't let your edge drop there. And seeing players that really care. I mean. Soufal at the end looked absolutely devastated that he's lost them points there.
Yeah,
I've been away at games before where, fucking players started walking towards the touchline when he thought the referee was going to blow the whistle because they can't get off there quick enough. It's a real change in
mentality
here and mentality around the club.
Yeah.
If someone offered you a Europa League place now, would you take it?
I don't think so. You know what? I'm enjoying the fight. I'm enjoying the fight.
I know what you're saying, but if we were to finish in the Europa League, I would still consider that a success. Of course, I want Champions League. Like right now, I would take Europa League. But the longer the season goes on, if we get to April and we're still in and around the top 4, and say we miss out on the last few games like we done in 2016, it will be devastating.
Yeah.
But we've already overachieved this season for me. And I think that's what's sort of helping the squad. The fact where, whatever happens now, it's been a good season. So that's sort of given them a freedom to play. But you are right. The next few games are very difficult and they're very big. I think who we got next? I think, do you know what? That game worries me the most. I mean, the Man United one, you could sort of say, they're there to be beaten, but they'll be favourites. Arsenal one is worrying, but we can beat Arsenal this season. They're terrible this season. Leeds worries me the most.
Why does Leeds worry? What is it about?
Well, Leeds are a bit Jekyll and Hyde, aren't they? They
exactly.
Could turn up and they could be like Barcelona, or they could turn up.
And I tell you what, as well, Graham, they're the most Jekyll and Hyde team in Premier League history. And I know we've been very Jekyll and Hyde, but there's no grey areas with Leeds. They're either very good or they're absolutely horrendous. And they've got this pattern of when they lose to sides at home, they then go to the away fixture and beat them. Leicester, they've done it with. Everton, they've done it with. They've got Villa tonight, but they beat Villa away as well. We obviously went one at Ellen Road. They seem to do well away from home, and that's what sort of worries me.
But the thing is, I think tactically we're set up in a way. I think that suits to play against Leeds because we're very solid defensively. You saw it today, and Leeds are so weak at the back. So it's just a case again.
Yeah, but Leeds can also hurt you as well.
Yeah, they can.
When Leeds attack, mate, they bomb forward. It's like.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. You can't tell me that Leeds' attack is better than Man City's attack. You can't say Leeds.
No, I'm not saying they are, but what I'm saying is that's a game that worries me purely because of what Leeds have been like this season. It's nothing to do with if they're better than Man City or if they're better than West Brom. It's the way Leeds have been this season.
They attack in droves. That's the thing. But that leaves them very exposed. Which someone like Antonio would, I think he's going to tear Leeds a new arse. To be honest with you, and defending, they're all over the shop at times. They are all over the shop.
It could be like
a couple of good balls in the box. Souček, sorry, and Dawson are going to have a field day against their defence. They're very small.
They have one way of playing. And that's all they know how to do. And if you can go and prepare,
I think we're the best, one of the better teams. I mean, this could all come back to bite us on the arse. What I'm saying now, but I think we're one of the better teams to play against Leeds because defensively we're solid. We don't give teams, much, and. Yeah. Hitting them on the counter and hitting them for set pieces, I don't think they can deal with us. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. We still got our goal to talk about. Obviously, our equaliser that I think came in at a really good time. Near the end of the first half, and the build up for that I thought was excellent. I thought Fornal's work for that, the work that he did for that was really good. And Lingard's assist, a great little flick onto Antonio, and another goal for Antonio as he climbs the table for the all-time top Premier League goal scorer.
But the thing is, Dan, I think after they scored, I don't know whether you'll agree with me. I thought after they scored, I thought it was all us after that. Like pressing.
Yeah, I think there was a little period, I think, immediately after they scored where they was sort of controlling the ball a bit, and it looked as if like it got a little bit. We got out of the game for a few minutes, but then it's like we woke up and thought, hang about, like
started pressing them on the edge of their box and that, and it caused them some problems.
Yeah, which what Fornal's done, and how that's what he did was Preston. He won the ball back on their attack, and. Yeah, I mean, just the play between those players, I thought was absolutely excellent. And again, Lingard making an impact again with the assist. So, yeah, I thought brilliant. And again, it's just another testament to how good Fornals has been today, which has been under a lot of criticism.
Yeah, I thought he had a stormer to the. Well, I thought they all did, but Fornals was brilliant.
Right place, right time as well for Antonio for the goal. Striking instincts.
Yeah,
which is something a lot of people criticise.
He's got to be considered a striker now, surely. I mean, I still see people saying he isn't, but surely he is now. Like he's been out for me. He has been for a long time.
Yeah, Nick,
I've always thought his best position had been up front, but he's good as a winger.
He ain't played on the wing for us for so long now, though. I genuinely don't even remember the last time he played for us on the wing.
What? Yeah. No, I can't remember either.
Yeah, like I say, he may not have started out as a striker, but like Dom says, I think you could.
I think that's it. But two goals in two games now, back to back. After he sort of, he was struggling to find the goal back of the net as he was trying his hardest in a few games. But now 2 goals back to back. I think that's really going to help push him on, and give him some more confidence in front of goal now. It's just that fitness. He just needs to improve. Keen to find his fitness because as the game goes on, he seems to drift out of the game a little bit.
He ran himself into the ground today, though.
That's the thing. So it's that is the only.
I think that's the problem with not having a backup because you can't afford for him to run himself into the ground that much, And I think that probably. He's going to come up back and bite us in the arse, and I hope it don't because it would be such a good season, and then all the talk is going to end up being deflected back on Sullivan and the ball and all that, not spending the money and all of that sort of nonsense, which I think will be a shame to sort of overshadow the season we've had. But like with saying that, they've had fuck all to do with this, nothing to do with it. They ain't done nothing. They've spent nothing. They've invested nothing. Every single penny that we've bought in more money than we've spent, even with the signing of Ben Rama. They've had nothing to do with it at all. It's good because they've kept out of it, but they haven't backed the manager. You back the manager. Fuck me, if they'd have backed the manager and bought in the forward, they reckon we've got sort of like £50 million budget in the summer. I would have took it in January and gone for it because at the minute we're looking good for for a European spot, and fuck me if they'd have invested in a top forward to give Antonio that respite. No one can handle Antonio. You look at Kyle Walker today. Kyle Walker was fucking blown out of his arse chasing Antonio at times. He's so strong, so fast, so raw. If you've got someone with that little bit of a striker's instinct, someone who can bend the ball in the top corner from outside the box. Honestly, I think we could have gone even better than what we have done. But it all comes down. It all comes down. Every transfer window, you're waiting for the next one to see what they do, and I don't think it's right, to be honest.
I don't see why we don't go for Diego Costa. It's a no-brainer, and there's nothing to lose. Honestly, I do not see the risk with Diego Costa.
Short term.
He's getting on a bit now for fitness and things.
But until the end of the season, it's absolutely no problem for me.
Yeah, because I suppose you won't be requiring him to play a full 90 minutes week in, week out. Do you know what I mean? And if he does get injured, you got Antonio. It maybe takes a bit of the pressure off Antonio to stay fit.
Listen, he's sitting at home earning nothing. There's no. Do you know what? I would even go as far to say, do you know what? I'll give you 50 grand a week basic, and if you score a goal, I'll give you 100 grand. Do you know what I mean? Because them goals could be important ones. They could be worth millions and millions and millions.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. So you got who's the other one? The other striker that's out.
Sturridge,
yeah. And it's again, he's a player that's had fitness problems. But if you're bringing him on a short term as a backup option, to take pressure off, you're not requiring him to play 90 minutes week in, week out.
He screams desperation, but I would take him purely because there's no one else. It's all risk free for me. Pay as you play, 3-month contract, sort it to the end of the season. It could be the difference, And for the backlash on GSB, the frustration we've had in underinvesting and just about scraping survival will be nothing compared to missing out a European place because of them underinvesting.
Do you know what? The only thing is,
just in time for the fans to come back and all that, which will be.
just that's all we bloody need is people throwing that against us. No, but the only thing that hesitates.
Go on.
No, so my only hesitation on when we're talking bringing in like a Costa or even a Sturridge is that the morale and everything, is in the team is so good. You just don't want that person to come in and upset. Not to say someone's going to come in but sometimes just the wrong personality can just shift the atmosphere a little bit. And I think we're still playing so well. And obviously he sees at the moment Bowen is that guy that he's playing in that position and seeing as that backup to Antonio as a forward, even though obviously he's still getting games on the wing, but he sees him as that guy when, okay, if we need to bring Antonio off or Antonio can't play, Bowen's in that position. And even though he's not as clinical as Antonio, he still gives you an outlet up front. Do you know what I mean? And we've seen that when he played there, the other week, even though he didn't really threaten much the goal, we still played really well and having him up front. So it's still an option we've got 12 games left. I think we ride out and see where we go. But their second goal, that one was frustrating for me, Man City's second goal, because of how long the ball pinged about in the box. And like I see someone in the fan cam say that Johnson got a bit too much unfair criticism today, and I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I think he could have done better for their goal, though. Closed down a little bit quicker. I think that was the only.
I blame Randolph again. I thought it was terrible
again,
and he didn't even look like he was ever going to save it.
But then again, should he have been off the pitch at that point if he had done his leg? And should he have come off? That's the only question. And add Martin on, who was much fitter. If he's done his thigh in, this is what I was saying to Nick, he might not be as mobile, as quick. If he's got to plant some weight on that to dive, that could affect him.
If Randolph went off, I'd have bought Trot on, to be honest.
Really?
I find it quite bizarre with Trot because,
got two goalkeepers on the bench.
Got two goalkeepers injured. If he's going to be your future, you've got to chuck him in at some time. You got to put him in at some point. He's
not even getting games in the cups though. So what?
No, he came on as a sub, didn't he, against Doncaster for the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to take the plunge at some point. I've heard good things about Trot. I've heard good things about him.
I think bringing him on though at 1-1 against Man City, I think that wouldn't.
What's the worst that can happen? You lose. You lose.
You're putting him under. It's like putting Odebeko on against Man United. You're putting so much pressure on that kid, and if something goes wrong, it just puts him under the spotlight. If we concede and people think, oh, he had a howler there, I'd rather introduce them in a little bit more of a comfortable light and gradually ease them in. And I think with David Martin, he played under a big pressure game against Chelsea. He may not be the best goalkeeper in the world, but I would have had him over just for his experience.
I'll be honest with you, Dan. I do like David Martin, but I do think he lives off that Chelsea game very, very much now. And also the fact Roberto was like a million times worse than him. It just it was a sort of situation it can't get any worse.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not the best, but he's got experience, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know he has. And he's West Ham through and through, isn't he? Like his old man. But I think when you compare the Trot situation and the Odebeko situation, I think it's very different. Whether it's a striker and a goalkeeper, I think as a striker you've got to do so much more to make an impact. Whereas as a goalkeeper, it's sort of simple. Straightforward, really.
Yeah, more the thing is,
not completely, but more than it would be for a striker.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you make a mistake as a striker, it's not as costly as if you make a mistake.
I agree.
Make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it's most likely going to lead to a goal. But Randolph, leg or no leg, he probably could have done better for that. And Stones obviously gets the equaliser, and it was just a bit disappointing.
I wish
an equaliser. Sorry, the winner. The winner. Their goal.
What do you think about their goal?
Their goal.
Like dancing. Boring. No, it was a bit pinball in the box, wasn't it? Just couldn't get it out of there.
he struck it well, to be fair, but like again, it's sort of at the keeper, and you just think, didn't you? You think, what if? And at that point, I thought we didn't do well enough to just get the ball out. Do you know what I mean? Like we didn't clear.
I think, as I say, I think it was very lucky. Like he smashed it down. Yeah, he hit it hard. Don't get me wrong, he hit it hard. There was about 3 or 4 players that could have stuck a leg out. It could have hit any one of them and deflected out for a corner or gone out the other way. I think he was quite fortunate, but it is what it is, mate. It's it's Manchester City. And you can tell the relief because they knew they was in a game. They knew they was in the game, right. And I think the performance tells us a bit more than the result. To be quite honest,
after that though, it was near enough, like mostly us, wasn't it?
I think if you asked any Man City fans what their hardest game this season would be, today would have been that game. I think, and there are a lot of City fans on my Twitter mentions agreeing with me because we gave them
you see their reaction at the end. You see their reaction at the end when the final whistle went.
Pep was full of praise as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Stone.
Guardiola,
yeah.
Shows how far we come this season when we're disappointed we've lost 2-1 at Man City.
Yeah, and I think it's a mixture of disappointment and pride. Because like I said, after that second goal, we was going for it and we were the most likely to score, out of the 2 teams after their second goal. And I said that Diop
had a chance.
Oh, but then Souček, you just think if Souček could just throw himself at the ball.
Yeah, mind you, Souček, by that point, mate, Souček, he'd run him enough. Well, they all had, but I mean, Souček had run himself into the ground by that point as well.
There was just a few times where Souček, I was sort of screaming at him a couple of times in that game where it's just like, Souček, why didn't you get there? It was his birthday today. So maybe he had too much cake last night or something. But
to be honest with you, I think Diop should have just planked it.
If that
he tried to put it in the far corner.
That's a goal. That's what I think.
He tried. Yeah, but the thing is, where he was going for it, you could see if he gets that on target, he beats the keeper because he's trying to put it in the far corner. Whereas rather than do it straight at the keeper, Edison is a top keeper. So his idea was right. It was just the execution was just a little bit off, he thought. And that is the thing. And that's why you need someone to come in at the back post and tap it in if they don't get there. Be ready.
Souček was coming in just a few seconds too late.
Yeah. That would have been
ball as well from Lingard, wasn't it? I mean, the ball from Lingard was inch perfect.
Lingard again was excellent today, I thought. He really has been a fantastic signing. I just really, really hope we can keep hold of him.
I think he's going to be the difference, and I didn't think he would be the difference.
And then you'll be getting his face tattooed on your chest, Nick. Remember?
I swear on my life, I'm not backing down on that either. We're getting the Champions League. I'll get his face tattooed on my chest. I put it out on my Twitter. I'm not joking. If we get the Champions League,
will we see you in a few years' time on Tattoo Fixers, Nick?
No, I was saying, imagine we get top 4 right, and then fucking he goes back to Man United, plays us in the cup, dumps us out of the fucking cup by scoring a hat trick, and you've got his fucking his face tattooed on your chest. That'll hurt. But no, hopefully we do snap him up and keep him.
He would be. I reckon he's going to cost a lot of money now. But how long's he got left on his deal? He's only got a year.
A year, yeah.
Yeah, 28 years old. He hasn't played much for Man United. I heard the figure. I saw the figure 15 million. That's what I saw.
That's a bargain, mate. For how well he's done.
These clans, I don't know if it's true, but the rumor is they're like, right, they want to give us Lingard, Jones, and
I saw that.
or something for Rice. Literally. Do you know what it's like going in the supermarket and getting your loose change out and going, right.
That is honestly, right. They tried that. They tried that with Diop a couple of years ago. They tried offering 45 million and Phil Jones for Diop. Phil Jones ain't even a fucking footballer. That guy's done for. He's been done for years. But it's just the sheer and utter arrogance of Man United thinking...
I've got him started on Man United.
Yeah, this is why I hate them, Dan. This is why I hate them. It's the sheer and utter arrogance that because they're Man United, they can come along, bully clubs like us, they're selling their best player, they give us shit like fucking Phil Jones and Nemanja Matic. Well, Craig Dawson's quicker than Nemanja Matic. And it's pointless for me for me, I wouldn't bother signing Lingard if we sold Rice, because we build the team around him. For me,
I would rather keep Rice and not get Lingard. If that's the case, if we have to sell Lingard, Rice wants Lingard to come and play with him. He said that he wants him to come and play at the club. So he's not, he's not.
He better fucking sign for us then, because Rice ain't signing for Man United.
No, but he wants Lingard to join West Ham. Rice is happy at West Ham. You can see it. The team is playing well. He's got all his mates here. He's enjoying the morale's good. He loves it here. He wants other good players to come in. Moyes has said Rice is pushing Moyes to sign good players. You can see that he wants to have a future here, but he wants to be in these positions. He should not be in a relegation battle. And I think if we're pushing it, exactly, and if he can see that.
Yeah. If we can start, if they put their hand in their pocket, but it all comes down to what the owners are here for. What do they want? And this is the ultimate test. We've got ourselves into a good position. We've got some wonderful like a couple of real gems that we've found. That I think Souček is a superstar. Sufal has been one of the best right back. But it all comes down to what. Only 5 million, yeah. But it all comes down to what these. I think it shows more now what sort of ambition and what these owners are about in the position we are, rather than a position we've been in. Because we can all sit there and say, "Oh, you fucking," but they've always got that excuses. "Oh, we can't do this because we're looking at relegation. So what happens if we lose? We can't spend the money because what happens if we go down?" And we're not in that position anymore. We're not in that position at the minute. So I think this is a more realistic sort of take on, what they want, because they've got a chance here. They've got a world-class midfield, like two world-class midfielders. Well, I say world-class. Maybe I use world-class a bit.
They're definitely
they're getting up there. They're one of the better midfield partnerships in the league. We've got a chance to add some real quality to quality that we've already got. Now this is where the owners have got to look at it and say, right, we promised them this, we promised them that. Now is the time to we ain't under threat of relegation, we ain't under threat of this, we ain't under threat. Now is the time to but they won't. They'll sit there and they'll make some excuse up. And I mean, you see this stuff from Claret and you coming out yesterday about Simmer. Who do you think puts them things out there?
Didn't the Slavia Prague chairman sit around and say it's bullshit?
The Slavia Prague chairman responded to it and said, "You're talking nonsense." It's the sort of thing that the club and the chairman put out early, so they can get their excuses out early. Is any West Ham fan going to say pay £35 million for Seaman? No. But the Slavia Prague chairman absolutely shut it down. She said, no, that's nonsense.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Nonsense. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm saying. It's already coming into play, because they know, as Dom said, a lack of investment when you're going to go down is nothing compared to a lack of investment when you're on the borderline of doing something very special. With a team, and you're on the borderline of building a team. We see that with the Payet situation. We could have built around him for the and probably up until about now he'd have probably been on his way out, because he's a little polka now, and if you watch him playing for Marseille. But what I mean, we could have built the team around him, but they didn't. They lumped in to 10, 15 players that cost about 15 million between the lot of them. Spend, a load of trash, loan players and all that sort of thing. They've got some real gems now. And they're already making excuses with, we can't sign him because he's going to sign 30. I don't want to hear them excuses. There is no excuse. Like, they'll use COVID as an excuse, and things like that. And they have used COVID as an excuse as to why we haven't spent any money. But there's no difference between us and, say, Villa. In terms of ownership and fan base and all that sort of thing. They spent loads of money. Where did they get their money from? How comes COVID didn't? If it was
they got a new owner when they went. I think a year after they went down. Chinese bloke.
New owner or not? That's the sort of money that I'm not saying that in proper terms. I'm not saying that there's not a difference between an owner that wants to invest and an owner that don't, but from what they're promised, I'm only going by their promises. I'm only going by what they said. They told us that we'd have the money. Where's the money?
I'd also say that this cost us. There are a lot of things that cost us from getting Champions League 5 years ago, but signing a striker in that January transfer window was one of them. Emenike on loan, the cheap option, scored 2 goals in the FA Cup, did nothing else, was useless. You know, we had a real striker crisis that season. Sacco was injured. Carroll was, inconsistent and injured. Valencia was trash. We should have made a statement to go out and get a striker in the transfer window that would have really made a difference. And again, done it on the cheap. Yeah, I know, we dropped points against shit that season, and the refereeing decisions probably were the main reason. But again, we just didn't really invest enough to improve.
Well, I mean, when it comes to choose play, look, Moyes, I think, has a lot of our trust now because of the signings that we've made. So we just have to wait and see what the budget they do come out with. But I think picking players and finding players, I think, Moyes seems to be really good at that. He did criticise our scouting system, and I'm hoping that he's pushing to improve that. But yeah, I think, we just need to find that. If we can find that player that just fits in this system up front and has that energy and has the fitness, we can really push on. And this is what I've said for me is whatever happens this season, for me to really see that we've progressed and we've turned a corner, I need to see it again next season. Not necessarily us being in the top 4, but us consistently being in the first half and being in competition to try and finish in those 7 places.
I'll be honest with you, I want to see Danny Ings, Simmer, and another midfielder.
What about Ivan Toney?
No, I don't want to see him. Well, it is what it is. If it is him, but this is what I want to see.
A lot of Brentford fans said he's better than Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, but that's what Brentford fans
are a well-run club.
They watch him every week in, week out, Nick.
They're like
he may be that
striker and then sign a better one.
He don't know. I don't think. I think that's what would progress us. Is Tony might it might be a good signing, but I think Danny Ings would be a statement of intent. It's a really good signing. Someone that's proven in the Premier League that wouldn't cost an absolute fortune. Probably cost the same amount of money. But that's
I think it'll be expensive.
It's not going to be the long term sort of like answer, like as in being young. But if we make it into Europe, fuck it, it's someone that could score goals for the next 3-4 years. I think it'd be fantastic. And then Simmer for the future. Giving Antonio a little bit of a rest, get him out back playing on the wing, because he can do as much damage on the wing as anyone that we've got. And then with the likes of Bev, I think we'd be a real good team. Someone else in midfield to contest them. Sign the boys that we've got already on permanence. Maybe another left back. There's going to be a couple going out the door. Yarmolenko ain't going to be here next year. I don't think Lanzini's going to be here next year. And Felipe Anderson, fucking hell, you might as well forget about him. So there's going to be money there. It's just how much that they want to put in on top of that, because I don't think we'll get more than £10 million for Anderson.
How much do you reckon Ings will cost, Nick?
30, 35.
I think
he's going to be.
I reckon it's going to cost 60.
No. Well,
how many years left is on his contract?
1.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's fair enough.
One,
because he's really good at, because he's a goal scorer, and it's just the fact he's English. There's sort of this English.
He's Scottish.
English players. English players tend to get overpriced.
He scored an overhead kick against Wales in October.
He's English, mate.
I thought he was Scottish.
Don't know what you've been watching. You're probably getting mixed up with him and Craig Beattie or something.
Maybe because Gio's always.
Because Gio loves him, doesn't he?
Yeah. I thought it was because he was Scottish.
The thing is, it's the way it's been like for years. English player comes through.
Someone else has made a good point in the chat here, and I know we don't really. But would you take Lukaku? Someone like Lukaku?
No. Lukaku never come. I would take him in a heartbeat. I would take him in a fucking heartbeat. He would never come.
Never come to us. He'll score about 10. He loves scoring against us so much. He'll score about 10 own goals a game.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just no. I mean, you look, he's in the Champions League at a big club. He's banging goals for fun. No, the thing is,
they're top of the league as well, Inter Milan.
Oh yeah,
I think the thing is with Ings, he wants to leave. I'm hearing he wants to leave Southampton. That brings the price down. His age sort of brings it down a little bit more. His injury record brings it down a little bit more. He hasn't exactly. I don't. How many goals has he scored? So I think 60 million.
This season, shall we have a look?
Might as well have a look because I think it's decent, but I don't think
Stato.
The thing is, Southampton aren't going to want to let him go on the cheap, are they?
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, but the thing is, what the hell is that music? Oh, no one else can hear it. The thing is, when a player wants to leave, and if they put in a transfer request, it always brings down.
He scored 9 goals this season, and he's been
9 goals. Yeah, so that's a decent return, but it's not like £60 million player return.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm just saying that because he's English. There's this sort of English tax. It all depends. It all depends if we get Europe, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. It all depends if we get a European spot because that will determine who we sign, and it also attract better players. It's so crucial moving forward. I think Leicester will be in for him as well. If I'm honest, I think Leicester are going to get Champions League next season unless there's a even worse implode from them than it was last season. Because I think they need a Jamie Vardy replacement, because he's getting on a bit now. I think Leicester will be in for him as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of
competition. Perfect replacement for Jamie Vardy.
There's options. That's the thing. Whoever Moyes does decide to pick, I will trust it. Whoever he says, as long as they. And again, I don't want to spend too much time on the board, but it's on them to deliver his top choices, right? And if they deliver his top choices, then I'll feel confident. I'll feel good, and then hopefully we can sustain this because I don't want to keep seeing us being that. You know what I mean? I would rather finish 10th 3 seasons in a row than have a good season at 5th and then be back in a relegation battle. But everything, on the pitch wise seems to be moving in the right direction. Like I said, with Rice, he's extremely happy. There's no they're going to have to be a stupid offer coming in. And with the way that clubs that seem to be struggling financially, what I'm hearing, there's not going to be a silly bid coming in. No one's going to pay the 100 million pounds for Rice that this club demands. And people keep scoffing at 80 to 100 million, but we don't want to sell him. So why would we sell him at what you think he's worth? No, we're going to put him for a price we're happy to sell him at. We're not going to put him. If you think he's worth 50 million, doesn't mean we should have to sell him at 50 million because you think that's what his value is. We can say whatever we want. We can put him for 200 million. We don't want to sell him. It's on you to match that valuation or don't get him. So yeah, I think he's happy. So I'm just enjoying the season, to be honest. It's nice, isn't it? We've had some horrible seasons here, since we moved to this ground. And
this is the pattern of West Ham, though. We have one good season, about 5, so I'm fully braced for a struggle next season.
That's why, Dom. That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to. For me to believe that we've turned a corner, I have to see that we don't have that shit season next year, and we do push on. And I think we need to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. We potentially need to look at a goalkeeper as well because Fabianski's injuries are getting a little bit more frequent.
I agree. There's plenty of goalkeepers to look at from the potential relegation.
I was saying on the watch along, did you see Sean Dyer said that he would sell Nick Pope for a couple of pints and a bag of crisps in a pub right now? He said that because
I'm right. I'd say
get the man a beer. Get him a beer.
Yeah, no, my uncle's got a pub, right? So I want to see if I can make it happen, right? And say it's
Pope's a good keeper. Pope is a good keeper.
Yeah,
he's a class. He needs to start for England at the Euros.
I don't know if there's any keepers in the bottom teams the bottom teams don't have any keepers.
Johnston's good from West Brom. He's a good goalkeeper.
And that'd be an option. There's a few players that you could look.
Do not touch that Ramsdale. He is the worst goalkeeper in the league, and he was last season, except for Roberto. In my opinion, he's shocking. Yeah. Johnston, Areola from Fulham as well, and Pope would be my.
Do you know what I would like to see? Speaking of players from relegated teams, I'd love to try and get Loftus-Cheek. If we can't get Lingard. If say we can't sign Lingard, I'd like to get Loftus-Cheek in the club. There's a few players that you could look at from those relegated teams. There's Lookman, obviously, and
he's on loan from Leipzig. And so's Loftus-Cheek. They're all loans.
Yeah, you can still buy him. Don't just because you're not buying them from those clubs. They're available. So it depends. If their parent clubs decides they want to keep them, then they'll keep them. But if Newcastle go down, Saint Maxim could be a really good
Wilson
option,
as well. Wilson up front.
Wilson, his injuries though, he's injured again.
Yeah, but he'll be available for cheaper, won't he?
Their goalkeeper's excellent.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's
much
Maxim,
better than that.
Yeah, it's Sam Maxim though. He's quality.
Yeah, there's players there from those sides that could be looked at. Do you know what I mean? If no one really seems to have a striker that you could go, yeah, that's none of them have. Apart from Wilson, obviously, who is a good striker. It's just his injury record, but he is a good striker, and he's shown it this season. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, I hate transfer windows. I hate them.
Yeah, I used to love them, but now I can't stand them.
Yeah,
like, you know, certain ITKs that love to cause a shit stir really piss me off.
It just
I reckon you should just go back to when you could sign a player any time of the year. Go back to the old.
If Newcastle go down, we're going to get linked with Shelvey again, innit? You're going to see Shelvey.
Do you know what? I like Shelvey. I'd still sign him.
That transfer,
just for Marshy to say it's just tell the story about Sullivan again.
Yeah, that was you and Marshy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was there. Wasn't it both of you? Yeah.
Every time he plays against us, he has a blinder.
Let's start wrapping this up now. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match Pint. Go and check out all the fan cams that we've just done. And what else? What else did we do? Watch along. Go and check that out. That was decent. Had some good little, got a little bit of banter in there, and we always.
How's Karen, by the way?
Karen, Karen's gone.
Never saw Karen
I don't think I'd taken her out for a drink now after that defeat. It was on when Antonio equalised, but. Like my dreams, they fade and die.
No worries. Go check out that. You'll see me back tomorrow with the morning after the game before. Thank you very much for watching. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you Irish.
Come on, you wires.